Hi, I'm Nick Zeisler. In this video, I'll share some thoughts on what is the cornerstone of your CX operation, your Voice of the Customer or VOC program. When combined with a healthy process engineering program and customer-centric culture, all supported by an aligned CX strategy, it's foundational to improving your customers' experiences. Nearby are videos on all these other topics as well. Let's talk a bit about the purpose of your VOC program and then delve a little into the mechanics of it. Some people treat their Voice of the Customer program as an end in and of itself. Some less mature organizations even think that VOC is all there is to CX. But the Voice of the Customer isn't the end, rather it's the beginning of your CX efforts. The purpose of your VOC program is to provide insights into where you can improve your organization's processes so that you can in turn improve your customers' experiences. VOC is just the input step of a larger system. Also, it shouldn't be about scores or dashboards or incentives. It should be about insights, pure and simple. Now, having said that, I realize that people will look at the top line metrics, but if your VOC program becomes just about chasing a number, you're likely to lose sight of the real purpose, improving experiences. Now, naturally, the primary tool people associate with a VOC program is the survey. When it comes to surveys, there's a lot to unpack, and we could do a whole series of videos just on the questions that inevitably arise. Who do you survey? How frequently? Do you do it online, via email, on the phone, in person? Should we use Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction, customer effort score? What questions should we ask in the first place? The permutations go on and on. But bottom line though, surveys can be a good, relatively inexpensive, and quantitative way of developing insights into your customers' experiences with your brand. Now, the VOC program isn't just about surveys. They play an important role and can provide valuable information, but they're not the only way to ascertain the voice of your customers, and in some instances, not necessarily even the best for those insights. Depending on what sort of information you're trying to derive, you may find other methods of VOC more valuable and insightful. These methods can augment or in some cases replace your surveys altogether. You can use market analysis. Usually CX is just a portion of these overall industry analyses. Big consulting firms look into not just customer experience aspects, but also operations, financials, and other parts of business to compare your performance with that of your peers. These are good because they're done independently by someone who's got no dog in the fight and so no bias or stake in how things turn out. On the other hand though, not every one of your peers may participate and you may not get the whole picture. And these aren't usually focused on CX, so sometimes that part of the analysis isn't as robust as you may want. Some companies hire consultants or even incentivize their own customers to act as secret shoppers. You're probably familiar with this concept. Somebody goes through the process of being your customer, makes notes of the good and bad touch points, and reports back their experiences. You can also hire someone to do focus group analysis, pitting your product or service or potential offering up against those of your competitors using a group of actual consumers to see how they respond and what they think. There are psychological caveats with all this sort of analysis, and they can be pretty expensive, but it's hard to beat seeing your customers respond to your offerings in real time right in front of you. Well, one way you can beat it though is by walking in the customer's shoes. Much like the secret shoppers, but in this case, you navigate what it's like to be a customer yourself. Not only is this simple, but it's powerful. Because if you're not doing this, you are missing the greatest education known to mankind, experience. If I had to choose between surveys and walking in the customer's shoes, I'd recommend to my clients to do this and involve everybody on your leadership team. There are lots of other methods of gathering the voice of the customer, but these are a few of the big ones. The Voice of the Customer program is foundational to your CX efforts. There's so much to cover on this topic that one simple 5-minute video could never do it justice. If you'd like to chat about this, reach out to me at any of these places. Meantime, check out the other videos in this series on CX strategic alignment, process engineering, and CX culture, all located nearby. Thanks, and I'll see you online.